Good morning. Today we're going to talk about the nervous system and what a dysregulated nervous system looks like. And we're going to build our toolkit for helping our body clear stress and trauma with some different techniques. So I'm just going to talk for a couple of minutes and then we're going to practice some of these things and then we'll be out of here. I recommend that you have some water nearby and that you're alone, that you can be alone for a few minutes. Ideally, a place where you can move around a little bit and make a little bit of noise. So get that stuff together. We're going to start just by listening. So the central nervous system, oh God, I'm prepared. The central nervous system, I'm sure you know some stuff about it, but just as a reminder, this includes the brain, the spinal cord, all the nerves in the body, the spinal fluid, and it controls everything. It controls pretty much everything. It's our way that our body takes an information around and processes it, is one way to put it. And there's two parts. There's the parasympathetic nervous system, and then there's the sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic, when we're in that state, that's when we can rest, we can relax, we can digest, we can reproduce. We, as the human animal, animals have this exact same thing. So when animals are in their parasympathetic nervous system, they're able to relax. That's the relaxation response, which is how we want to be most of the time, right? But there's also the sympathetic nervous system, the sympathetic, and that's the activated response. That's when a tiger is coming to chase you and you flip into response and you run away. Or when someone's attacking and you would turn and you fight. Or like a mother is able to lift up a car to get her child out because they're in this activated response. And that's really important. We need that, right? That keeps the animal safe out in the world. Unfortunately, our society is like a tiger chasing us all the time, especially with things going on. We can feel that tiger chasing us feeling all the time, and we're not really able to clear that feeling out, even when it's like, okay, I'm at home, and it's safe right now, and the TV is off, and I'm not scrolling, and yet you still feel like, and this can show itself in so many ways. This is one big way that illness and dis-ease, lack of ease, happens in the body. But I don't have to explain why stress is bad. I think that we all know that. So one thing that's really cool that that we've observed is that animals, after they have a really stressful, traumatic situation, like being chased by a tiger, afterwards, you'll see that little animal that survived over under a tree twitching and shaking, or wailing or rocking. And these are ways that the animal is, without even maybe cognitively knowing about it, the body is helping to re-regulate, to process the chemicals and all the stuff that came up from when you were in when it was in this activated response, and to discharge. So the normal thing of the nervous system is respond, discharge. Respond, discharge. But we don't really have a lot of good ways for discharging as the human animal in this society. Or maybe you do. One really powerful way that many people use to de-stress is exercise, or like running. You're using your body, you're moving your body to force chemicals and stuff out. You're doing deep breathing. This is really effective for kind of discharging and re-regulating the body. Another way is to cry. Literally allowing the emotions to come out and come out of your face. Your tears the trauma is literally coming out of your face. It's so cleansing and healing to cry. And then your system can come back to that regulated place, so our bodies are quite dysregulated. Many people right now, if you're feeling, or someone who's feeling stressed out all the time, And it seems like their stress isn't really equal to what's happening. It seems like they're more stressed out or more traumatized, freaking out. And I know there's a lot of people like that right now, including myself in some moments. That's because the system is dysregulated. It's a chronic state of imbalance. Your body's not discharging any of that trauma. Anyway, that's a lot of talk. We are going to try some techniques for discharging trauma. Maybe you're like, I feel totally fine right now. That's great. It's in there. It's in there. It's in your tissues. And we're going to try some stuff to get some of that out. So, let's do that. When I am going to be doing some of this nervous system work, I always light a little candle, or I'm trying to get into a better habit of lighting a little candle, kind of creating a sacred space, letting my body know it's safe, and that this is supposed to be like a therapeutic thing. So I made a little candle. I'm going to flip off the light. We're going to start seated, but really you can be however you want. This is kind of an experiment. This is kind of what I do, and I've never taught it, but I'm getting ready to record a big workshop tomorrow, and so I figure I might as well try it out, right? So find a comfortable position where you can have a tall spine. We'll just take a few breaths to let the body know it's safe. The nervous system is totally automatic. We don't have much control over it, except the breath. The breath is the most direct and immediate way to send messages to the nervous system and to change how it's operating. It's not really possible to be in fight or flight mode if you're taking deep breaths. The deeper you breathe, the more your system is going to get the message that you're actually okay. So sit up nice and tall, however you want to sit. In a chair is great. And have a nice tall spine. Draw your belly button in just a little bit to support the spine. Tuck the chin slightly. Feel free to be against a wall or the back of a chair so you can feel super supported. And begin to slow down your breath. Take your hands to your body, your belly, if that's helpful. Because as we inhale, we want to feel the abdomen kind of fill with air, or kind of press out as the diaphragm is going down. And as you inhale, your belly can kind of come in a little bit. But it's not about like using your ab muscles to create that. It's about allowing your body to relax enough that the breath does that automatically. Every inhale, nice and slow. Every exhale, even slower. Bringing the body back into this parasympathetic, this relaxing vibe. It just happens more and more easily with the exhale. So the longer your exhale, the more you're slipping into that parasympathetic space. But not at the expense of a tense mind, right? We don't want to be like, breathe harder, you can do it, force it. No, it's allowing. And yes, that's easier said than done. It takes practice. But it's not about thinking through it. We can't think through trauma and stress. We have to let the body work through it. The nervous system has nothing to do with thinking. although thinking patterns can certainly activate your stress response, right? But this stuff originates in the lizard brain, the animal brain, the body. So trying to think it through is really a pretty big waste of energy. Allow the body to clear that stuff. Now just keep that nice deep breathing, and we're going to add a little bit of movement. I'll suggest some, but it doesn't really matter what it is. But I'll inhale, my hands up. And exhale, my hands down. Eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. If not, just a soft gaze. Every inhale, arms up. Every exhale, arms come down. Or whatever other movement makes sense to you. Just matching the breath to the movement. Remember, the more slowly and fully you breathe, the more healing you'll get. Letting the body know it's safe. No tigers here. Okay, some other different movement. Doesn't really matter, but I'm going to suggest spinal flex. So inhaling as your chest comes forward. Exhaling as your chest goes back. It's also maybe even easier to access in a cat-cow position, so hands and knees can work really good too. Get in any position you need. Deep breathing, soft movement. Letting the body know it's safe. And now just take any movement that feels good. Soft flowing movement. It's an incredibly effective way to calm the nervous system. You know, people who've just experienced a fire or some major trauma, children, you know, sometimes they hold themselves and rock themselves. This is a way that animals, and we are animals, can help regulate the nervous system to help discharge trauma. So you can hold yourself and rock or do whatever other movement feels good. What's another way that we see animals and young children regulate when they're in trauma? You might hear them moaning, crying. The breath works really well, really well to send messages to the nervous system. We're going to enhance that by letting sound come out of the mouth. So, you know, if you're doing this on your own, it's just making whatever sound wants to come out. For the purpose of practicing, I'm going to suggest some sounds. So we're going to start with ah. So your inhales are going to be just inhales, deep inhales, and your exhales are going to be sung. And I don't mean sung like la la la, it's going to sound beautiful. No. It's just vocal toning. That's what it's called. So that means just letting your voice and your breath come out. So let's take a deep breath. Doesn't have to be any certain note. Keep going. It doesn't have to be any certain movement. A lot of times I feel like I want to bounce. So I just have my feet on the ground and I just let my upper body bounce. And I let sound come out of my mouth as I bounce. Let's try a different sound. E. Whatever movements feel right. It certainly takes practice. Following along in a workshop is only going to take you so far because letting your body intuitively do the movements and sounds that it needs is what it's all about. Keep it moving. Maybe you feel tired and you're like, oh, I want to be still. We're going to keep it moving for just another couple minutes. Practice a little bit of stress in the body that's safe. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Whatever your movements are, maybe make them a little bit more vigorous. And we're going to just keep moving. Keep moving, keep moving. Bouncing, shaking. A good one is to shake your hands. It's easy to do vigorously. If you've stopped toning, just because I've stopped, no, I'm explaining. Keep going. Shake your hands harder. Shake them up high. Come to the floor. Bang. Be completely still. It can be very helpful to bring your forehead, or at least your feet, to the ground to help ground the energy. You can turn and lay on your back. Find a way to be really comfortable and feel supported. I'm going to recommend a really, really soothing position, which is legs up the wall. You can't see, but my legs are up the wall. Just laying on the ground. Super, super soothing to the nervous system. As important as it is to do all of the moving and breathing and pounding, it's equally important to allow the body afterwards to integrate, to release. So if you're doing the toning exercise for 5 minutes, you should also have at least 5 minutes of rest afterwards. Allow all that good work to kind of equalize in the body. Take a huge breath to let your body know you're going to move. And slowly make your way back up. Do yourself a favor. Don't just step out of the room and now attend to something from work or do something for anyone but you. Have a glass of water or tea. Try to take a few minutes to let your body and your mind process that experience. A little journaling can be helpful. So that was like a very abridged version of the practice. Tomorrow I'm going to be recording like a longer series about all this, but it's really new for me to be teaching it. So I would very much appreciate any feedback, any questions you might have that'll help me put together a more complete workshop on this topic. I love you. I hope that you'll give it a try, or that you did, that you'll share the technique with others. It's really effective. And you in your little soft animal body need and deserve to be able to release the trauma that's coming in constantly from every direction. And if we're going to make it through this time, we're going to need to figure out some ways to make it through, you know? So I love you. Thanks for taking care of yourself. Thanks for at least checking this out. You might be like, oh, that's super weird. I don't know, but like, see how it feels. I love you. Have a good day.